Morning, gang. Morning, gang. How you guys doing? This is 5:39 a.m. Monday, December 6, 2021. For reference, I'm on Mountain Time, so I'm in Canada, Alberta, and I'll be running this call daily, Monday to Friday, every day of the week. We're going to be going over the foreign exchange market and some crypto. Okay. To get started, we'll just dive straight into it. Okay. To get started, I always look at forexfactory.com. Okay, to see if there's any news for the day. This is the first day of the week, so it makes sense to look at the whole week just to see what we have for the week and know, just be prepared. So right now, this is Monday, right? December 6th. We had a GBP news earlier today. This is an MPC member that spoke. But for the rest of today, there's not much, but we have AED cash rate tonight. Okay, AED cash rate at 8:30 p.m. my time. Best believe I'm actually going to come back to this in the evening because this is a news I really love trading. So I'm definitely going to come back to this. Okay, tomorrow, I don't know, my stuff is lagging for some reason. My browser is tripping. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let me move it back to this screen and see if that'll be better. Okay, that is better on this screen, but on my display, it is lagging. Okay, you know what? I might just switch to my actual main display because I don't know why this is lagging. If it lags one more time, I'm gonna switch. Okay. But Tuesday, yeah, it just lagged. So I'm definitely gonna switch. I'm gonna take this off display. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second. Okay. Okay. Can you guys in the chat, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my my Forexfactory, or are you just seeing this? Can you guys see my Forexfactory, or are you just seeing the blank display? Can you guys let me know in the chat? Okay, I'm gonna do this again just to be sure. Display one. Okay. Pretty sure you guys can see my screen. So Tuesday, what do we have? There's no red folder. So for you guys to understand, there's a red folder news is, very high impact fundamental news for whatever pair, like GBP, tonight's AED. So this is going to be a strong news for AED, right? And on Wednesday, we got a lot of Canadian news here. So overnight rates, this is the interest rate. So this is definitely going to move the market, right? For USD, we have a red folder news too, and we have an AED news. And on Friday, we've got CPIs, okay? I know the CPI usually like gives us, an indication on inflation, okay? So this is definitely going to move the market also, okay? So that being said, let's dive straight into the chart on things I actually have for you guys today. Time sensitive trade ideas, okay? So right now, first of all, what I see, I'm going to take this out, but this is a trade we took last week just before Thanksgiving, and this thing actually went crazy. Actually, no, it wasn't Thanksgiving. I think the Thanksgiving trade was somewhere up here. Yes, the Thanksgiving trade was somewhere up here. This was a re-entry, okay? But I'm going to delete these and show you guys what we have right now, okay? For GBPJPY. Okay, I love trading GBPJPY because, like, it's a GBP pair. It moves a lot. It moves a lot. So as we can see right here, like, I don't even need to show you guys anything extra. This is a downtrend. Okay, this is a very, very clear downtrend. And this is what I'm willing to, like, play right now. So what are we looking for in downtrends? In downtrends, we're looking for sells. We're looking for trend continuations to the downside. So one thing you guys gotta understand is that, one second, let me pull this out here on the side. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out here on the side, checklists. So this is what I usually look at, whenever I'm on the chart. So I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of this or whatever. I look for the trend. I look for where the money is at. I look for where the banks are hiding, and I draw up a fib to see what level of the movement, what discount levels we're at. Okay, so right now the trend is a downtrend. Okay, where's the money sitting? I do see that there's a lot of liquidity here. So whatever trade ideas I'm looking for, I gotta be careful, right? Because there's liquidity up here. So like liquidity in the sense that, wherever is selling on this, market movement to the downside has your stop loss sitting over here. So, the bank moves from areas of liquidity, or the market is attracted to areas like this where money is sitting. Okay, money is also sitting up here, right? So the market is always attracted to this area. So I'm gonna have this in mind. Okay, there's one more thing I'm looking at here too. Okay, well, on this 1 hour time frame, I'm gonna look at some other time frames to like give you a deep analysis into GJ right now. But like right now in the 1 hour, there's something else I see. Okay, and this is something that doesn't work all the time, so don't be pressed over it, or don't pay too much attention to it and forget um what the market is actually telling you. But like if you can see past here, like even though I wanted to sell in this area, I also noted that there was an RSI bullish divergence here. But as you guys can see, that didn't work out. So it was good I actually took this sell, because if I was paying attention to this, I would have missed this drop. Okay, same thing is happening here right now. I'm also looking for a drop in this area, but I'm not going to ignore that we have an RSI bullish divergence here. So this is something to pay attention to. I'm going to explain on another video what an RSI divergence means. But like just a quick one here, this technically tells me that the actual chart is lagging and the RSI already created another high. So if you look at it here, there's this high right here, and there's a lower high here on the actual chart, but like on the RSI, we have a higher high created. So this just tells me that, price could continue above this, and it makes sense for that to happen since we have, equal highs here. But, one thing about trading technical analysis, or like, Forex and stuff, we're basically speculating, right? So at the end of the day, if we see a trade opportunity, we're going to take it, with risk management. And if we lose a trade, we're only losing like 2%. But if we win that trade, we'll probably get like 6% and up. So that's a decent risk reward for me that I'm willing to take. So what I'm looking at here for GJ is this institutional candle here, right? So 1 second. I'm gonna look at the 50%. Okay. So where's my chart? Where's my box? Okay, this is my checklist and checklist box. So we found the trend. The trend is a downtrend. We found where the money's sitting at. Okay, now we're looking for where the banks are. Okay, the banks are in form of institutional candles. So you see this last up candle before price slammed to the downside. That is what I'm looking for when it comes to that entry. Okay, when it comes to that entry, that is what I'm looking for. So this last up candle, I just measured it and I'm looking for the 50%. Okay, I could get in at the opening. Okay, as you can see, price came and basically touched the wick. So there's 3 potential entries on bank candles: the wick, the opening of the candle, or the 50%. So in this situation, I kind of want to play the 50% because like this move to the downside right here is happening pre-New York. Okay. I love entering my trades during the New York session. And for me, that is after 6 a.m. So when it comes to actually finding entries, I like entering at that second hour of New York session. So 7 a.m. my time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. Why is that? I let the market to do its thing the first hour of New York. Then I attack in New York. Okay. So in this situation right here, I'll be looking for an entry right at the 50%. Okay, I'll be looking for an entry at the 50%. And my stop loss is just going to be above the highs. Okay, this is a large stop loss right here, but like, you just got to be, so this might be your first call with me, But I don't trade with more than 20 pips of a stop loss. But like in this situation, it's GJ, so it's kind of allowed. Um, this stop loss is going to be about 30 pips. Okay. And my take profit is going to be at this low down here, right? So you know what I was saying guys at the beginning of the calls, I don't mind losing 2% as long as my reward is higher, right? So in this trade idea right here, this is a 1 to 5.17 risk to reward ratio. So if you someone that risks 1% of your account, if you hold this trade to this TP, it's going to give you 5%. If you risk 2%, it's going to give you 10%. If you risk 3%, it's going to give you 15%. So this is a trade I'm willing to take. It doesn't really matter. I'm not out here to be, to guess and be a magician or, predict the market or whatever. I have a strategy I use, and, I find opportunities in the market and make sure my risk reward makes sense and I execute. That is all I do. So in this situation, this box right here will be a market execution zone. I like giving this out to my students because it just guides you to, because sometimes because of how accurate this strategy is, sometimes price might literally come right to your entry and just leave. And you guys know, if you guys trade a lot, the actual market conditions on your MetaTrader 4, the entry line is not this thing, right? There's going to be spread. So if you have a really accurate entry and price basically comes and touches that entry on the trading view and goes in your direction, you might not get filled in on that pending order. Why? Because of the spread. So I always prefer having an alert set. I'm gonna set an alert right now. Okay, have that alert set, and when price comes back to your entry, then you can execute. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So that is GJ right here. Okay. If you have any questions, leave that in the comments. So we're gonna go straight to EURJPY. All right, we're gonna go straight. So we're gonna come back to this tomorrow to see how this played out, and basically, and when it comes to managing your trades, at the end of the day, like I said, this is a 1 to 5.1 risk reward. So if this thing activates and goes like 1 to 3, and 6% is your daily goal, or makes sense to you, definitely take some profit. Pay yourself. It doesn't make sense sitting in trades like multiple days or whatever, and it finally comes back to break you even, or like even God when he stop loss. This is something I also teach later, trade management. But if you're an experienced trader, you should know what I mean. Okay. So that's GJ. Okay, I also have a EURJPY trade that I sent out to my team earlier yesterday. So the funny thing is that price actually, I always look at the institutional candle, like I told you guys, and I've told you guys that the wick, the opening, and the 50% areas I look at, right? So EJ is very similar to GJ. Okay, sometimes they move, in the same way. EJ is also a downtrend, as you guys can see. So we're obviously going to still be looking for sells, and we're going to play the same thing here, right? Where's the money sitting at and all that good stuff. So I'm going to pull up my box right here. Okay. And we're going to have the checklist out. Okay. We'll have the checklist out. So look at the trend, is a downtrend also. Where's the money at? I can see that the banks captured, I can see that there was some liquidity captured here. So this is a previous equal high when price was down here, So price came up, slammed that equal high with this candle and then dropped, okay, to create a new lower low, right? So that being said, I can see that the liquidity was captured here, and I can also see there's some liquidity to the downside here. Morning, Amy. One morning. With this, we can see the banks is sitting here, and the banks are also down here. Okay, we can see the banks are also down here, right? Because this is there's no wicks down here. Okay, when you see no wicks, it's kind of a gap, actually, not necessarily the banks. There's a gap right here, but at the same time, anyone buying all of this probably has your stop loss down here, right? So that is why I said the banks are probably here, because no, not the banks, sorry, liquidity. This is where the money is sitting at, right? So that's a target for any sales I'm getting in this area. Okay, and then I'm also going to draw the fib, right? I didn't draw the fib on GJ, but I'm going to draw it on here just to show you guys, where we're sitting at when it comes to a discount level, right? I'm actually going to do body to body. Okay, I'm going to do body to body. So this, and I'm going to pull it down to here. Okay, and I'm going to open it up. All right, entry fibs. Okay, this is wrong. Go delete that and draw it again. So the fibs go from the left to the right, not the right to the left. That's what I did on the last one. It was from the right to the left. So that's why that was wrong. So as you guys can see, our entry here coincides with the 886 fib. And anyone that knows the way I trade, you'll know I love that 886 entry. So so I like this area for an entry. So the thing is, as we can see, price already hit the opening of the candle. So honestly, this might even be it. This might be the level where price actually rejects and comes down. But one thing you guys got to know, if price breaks, if price breaks this low from here, then this trade becomes invalid. It left us and it's probably not coming back. Okay, or like, by the time it gets back here, it might just violate this area. So we have to note that price already hit the opening. Okay, price already hit the opening. But I told you guys I always look for risk to reward, right? And normally this would be that market execution zone I was talking about, like all the way down here like this. So all the way to the opening, and this would have been that entry, right? But when it comes to risk to reward, I always like having a risk to reward of 3 and up. And this opening wasn't going to give me that. Okay, this opening was going to give me 1 to 2, so that's why I chose this area. But to be honest, okay, one thing I do sometimes, okay, it's not always written in stone that I have to get a 50% or whatever, or if my entry is at the opening, it's also, my SL is also supposed to be up here. One other thing I would have done, like, when I think of it right now, is that, for the opening, I could have sent out 2 different, trade opportunities where we have an entry at the 50% and an entry at the opening, and the one at the opening, the stop loss is just above the 50%, right? Which will make sense. And the TP is going to be the same. All right. So in this situation, you can see it's still the same 1 to 4 as this. The only difference is that there's an opening and there's a 50%. As you guys can see from that opening, price is actually dropping pretty aggressive. Like, it's giving a good drop. Well, we could still, like, trust me, like if JPY wants to go crazy, we could still have that spike up back here to get that entry to drop, right? So that is EJ and GJ that I have for you this morning. For y'all on the Zoom, does anyone have any questions for me? Because those are 2 major things I'm looking at this morning, EJ and GJ. I also have a EURJPY trade idea. Ooh, I had this last night and this got violated. I don't even know. Thank God I didn't send this out. Did I send this out? 1 second. I don't think I sent it out. Let me look at this. Nope, I only sent out EJ. Yes, I knew EURJPY looked a little sketchy. That is why I didn't send that out. And good thing I didn't send that out. And good thing I didn't, set it up. So I was looking for the same thing here. I was looking for, I think, a 3-hour price action. Where was that? Was it 2 hours? 4 hours? I think it was 4 hours. Yes, I was looking at this candle on the 4-hour, but as you guys can see, the Swiss franc, lost trend. So this just exploded to the upside. So looking at this right now, this is something where I'll most likely be, I'm going to change my bias now to, like, although it's still in a downtrend though, like this thing has been dropping for a while. As you guys can see, this is like one of the strongest, green candles that have formed in most of this stuff that has happened. So what I'll be looking now to see is if, we can have some break of structure. If price starts breaking above all of this, or it could still be like a sell continuation, right? But like, just finding that entry, because we still have a huge gap down here. We still have, no wicks down here and all of that. So, but on the RSI, I can notice that the RSI already took out all of this. So at that point, like, we'll just be waiting for it to show us more evidence that price wants to like move in our direction, and then we can, execute. Or if this thing looks to start, changing its trend to the upside, that'd be amazing to catch, because like I said, for the past few weeks, we've literally just been slamming to the downside. So it is due for some kind of retracement, right? So this is a lower low that's created. It could come back to this zone here to create a lower high to continue to the downside, right? So this might be that catalyst to move price up. But then you also got to note that on the weekly, this push that happened is literally nothing. We could still close bearish this week as a red candle with a wick to the upside. So don't get caught up on this push and think this downward trend is over. It could be over, but we need that evidence. Again, we need that evidence, right? Because as you can see, the past few weeks, we've had those wicks to the upside and it's still closed bearish. So that could happen again this week, okay? That being said, as I can see, no one has questions. This is where I'm going to end the call this morning. Thank you guys for hopping on with me. I'll be uploading these videos daily, and just catch me on YouTube if you want it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit me up on IG if you have any questions, or leave a comment in the chat. Leave a comment in the chat if you have any questions. I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. And one thing you have to understand is that, these calls. Thanks, Amy. Stay positive also. Yeah, this is my IG right here at Carter01. I'm gonna drop it in the chat also. One thing for if you're on YouTube and you see this video, some of these setups might still be active, so just go on your trading view and check it. If it's not active, it's because I'm going to be uploading these videos like about approximately 10 to 12 hours after I actually record them. So it might be late. If you want to get the source right when it happens, hit me up. I'll tell you how we can do that so you can get into my private Telegram group. All right. That being said, thank you guys for hopping on. I'll catch y'all later.